What's up guys and girls, Lazy Dragon here, and welcome back to the Creators Collection. Kicking us off this week we have Switch and Ditch, a game which asks the question that we've all been afraid to answer. Would you rather play as a fat man, a robot, a president, or a bird? And of course, we're picking the bird. He reminds me of Sam the Eagle. Oh, look at him go. What an amazing bird. There's a timer, there's graphics that I can actually understand, there's objectives. This is very nearly an actual game. Careful, Creators Collection. With improvements like this, you may stop being such a waste of space. So what do? We got a charge attack, we got a star, we got big head mode. That's always good. Regardless of the game, big head mode is just wonderful. Extra time, yes, because 985 seconds just isn't enough. Can I throw him? Yeah, we can knock him around, we can bully small children. There we go, bully small children simulator, complete with big head mode. This is wonderful. Hello, children. This Big Bird's cousin, he finds it harder to get work than the big yellow bird, but he still tries his best. Big Bird's angry with you. You just see this outside your window one night. What do you do? The correct answer is, of course, shit yourself. Turns out if you mess around in the character select menu, you can make Macho Bird sound like Navi. That's what we call the SoundCloud Ocarina of Time remix. Thank you to SoundCloud the robot for producing that wonderful piece of art for us. The bird Naruto runs. Look, you get him to charge up, and then watch very closely. The arms just come out behind him. Great, we've got the one jock weeaboo bird. That's not a combination I ever thought I'd see. Then again, if the jock weeaboo bird comes up to you looking like this, you're not really going to say no to him, are you? It's okay, you can run however you like. I promise we won't mock you anymore. Please don't eat my family. And the second game in this week's Creators Collection is Be-Tran-Ju, which, if you spell it backwards, comes out as Uj Nart Iab, which doesn't make any sense, much like its normal name, and indeed the entire premise of the game, which is to be a small spaceship fighting a ball of yarn. You encountered Be-Tran-Ju Type 0. Oh, glad to see the weeaboos are out in full force today. We had Naruto running birds, and now we got Neon Genesis robots here. Goody. I like the music though, music's catchy. I mean, yes, it sounds like somebody's cat just ran over their keyboard in GarageBand, but still. If you've got a catchy cat, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Who needs a full orchestral soundtrack when you just throw a feline at a computer and hope for the best? Why do all of the enemies look like rejected icons from your Windows desktop? I feel like there's some story here that we're not getting. Like, are we some sort of Linux-powered spaceship who've been sent out to destroy all of the terrible, terrible Microsoft icons? Hey, that one's just a Power Ranger who spits out candy floss. Okay. How exactly did the developers come up with these ideas? Were they just walking down the street and every single thing they saw got put into the game? Ooh, there's a dog. Let's make a robot that looks like a dog. Ooh, there's a hat. Now there's a hat robot. Ooh, there's a homeless person begging for change. Well, here's Type 5 of Be-Tran-Ju, it's just a beggar. You know, if you play this enough times, the sound effects eventually stop hurting your ears and instead become some sort of fuel source for the player. That's the only explanation I can think of. as to why they put a sound effect in that is actively hurting every time it hits an enemy. Seriously, listen to it. The sound craps out every time you shoot someone and goes brrr, brrr, brrr. Like somebody's trying to chuck their hard drive in a washing machine. It's a bad noise. It's a shame because the music's nice. Clearly the sound effects guy was having an off day though. And we make it to round 5, the bubble blowing baby, and then the bubbles track me halfway across the screen. Oh, those dirty bubbles. We're trapped in the corner. You can't dodge the bubbles. Who knew that all this time, bubble beam was the one thing that could stop a spaceship? Maybe we'll see that in the next Star Wars film. They get rid of all the turbo lasers, and they outfit all of the spaceships with just those little bubble blowers that you can buy at the seafront. Who knew that our greatest weapon would be a small child with a lot of lung capacity? Who's ready for attempt number 20 against the bubbles? They just don't stop. And there's homing missiles that come out after you as well. Jeez. Who on earth gave bubbles and homing missiles to the same robot? Like, that's just excessive. Pick a theme, man. Either you're super sci-fi homing missile lad, or you're a bubble blowing baby. Pick one. Hey, we actually did it! Just in time for a Final Fantasy boss to show us up. That is hypnotic, the way those rainbow colours move through the screen. I think that's about as good as we're going to get it, unless we want to be hypnotised by the magic butterfly laser blast again. Look at it, it's so pretty, so wonderful. Who says the Creators Collection can't create art? I would like to point them at this enemy. Either they'll admit that it's beautiful, or it'll hypnotise them into walking off a very short pier. And the third game in this week's Creators Collection is Road Knight, because I guess Knight Rider was already taken. Press Y for story. Let's see what lore they've cooked up for this, shall we? Oh well, there's a whole comic. There are 2 police officers who are talking to a sat-nav, and a black police officer who's only 3 days from retirement. And now, lots of police officers all standing around together, getting fewer and fewer facial features as they move further and further away from the camera. Must suck to be that guy at the very back. He's got a nose and nothing else. Guess they couldn't afford any eyes or lips for him. Something sexism, something police officer, when do I drive a car? Oh dear. Oh dear, she pulled a gun on a man, but he straight up shanked her. I don't know how, he must be a teleporting ninja. Somebody play the Omi Weidu Shindaru clip. That's how you pronounce it, right? And and then he just drives off in a car. The other cop doesn't try to arrest him, just waits patiently as he pulls out and slowly drives away. Also, I mean, she probably wouldn't die from that. The knife doesn't look like that deep. It went through the shoulder blade. She's just faking it. She's putting it on. Not a real death. She's going to come back at the end of the game and be like, oogity boo, surprise. I was just having a holiday the entire time. Also, this comic scrolls really slowly, and you can't speed it up. I mean, it's nice that they put the effort into the story. Be good if I could experience it at more than half a frame every second. Just, come on, speed it up, a bit faster. It doesn't take this long to read 2 speech bubbles. Wait, what? Mo, Z, Venth, Hack and the evil twins Malice and Gringe. Who named these bad guys? Are they part of the Hamburglers crew? Then I am no longer a police officer, Malcolm. What's a police officer, Malcolm? Is that a special rank? Detective, investigator, and police officer, Malcolm? Just... You have to be one of the best people on the force to get that rank. Time for vengeance. Oh, and now his friend's just giving him a helicopter. I'm no longer a police officer, can I borrow that helicopter? Yeah, sure. Just bring it back before sundown. Well, that was a wonderful story, don't you agree? What happened to that helicopter? Where'd the helicopter go? Now we're just driving very slowly. Why can't I shoot? Oh, there's a grenade being airdropped in from above. That's safe. Oh, there's shoot. There we go. We're making progress. We've executed half a dozen innocent people, but we're making progress. What happens if I drive off the road? Ah, you can go into a river. That's funky. I like that because it slows things down and makes it easier to shoot. What do all of these buttons do? I'm fairly certain I figured out the windscreen wipers. Don't know what the rest of the controller does. That turns the car invincible. Actually, it doesn't turn the car invincible. It covers the car on a shield, like with wacky races. That's your airdrop grenades button. That's shoot. There we go, we're figuring it out. It's just like GTA. Really, really old school GTA. So, if this game had been made in 1994, it would be top of the class, real state-of-the-art game. Defeat Mole. Oh, okay. So, we've gone from Happy Cop Fun Time into Contra? This is looking like Contra to me. Just random robot enemy. Middle of the level for no reason. Can I just keep dropping grenades on him? Well, that was a boss fight. Certainly a boss experience, if nothing else. Hey! We're in the desert! Look at this. The game's got different backgrounds and moving enemies who are actually capable of threatening the player. This is a good week for the Creators Collection. Every game has been playable and recognisable as a game. This is unprecedented. Defeat Z. Z what? Z's nuts. Got him. Wait, why does Z just have a tank? Why have they downgraded from giant fighting robots to a Sherman? And oh, apparently we did. We pointed out their logical inconsistency and that's killed us. So, I guess that's Road Knight. Did the plot grip you? Did the gameplay astound you? That's... And the sad thing is, this is still one of the Creators Collection's better weeks, because everything worked. And, you know, I didn't have to threaten to bury the collection in a shallow grave for once. It's always a nice novelty when that happens. So thank you all for joining me. This has been the Creators Collection. We'll be back next Monday with some more indie fun. I'm using fun very liberally there, just imagine the air quotes. So until then, farewell everyone.